Okay, in this video, we're going to go over making connections in the Hypershade viewer. We have been creating textures by clicking on that Create Texture node button in our attribute editor for the materials. So if we select our sphere and go to the attribute editor, we see we have our Lambert 1, which is our default shader. Don't touch this one. But the way we've been adding textures to our color or our transparencies is by clicking this button, and then it takes us to that Create Texture node button, and then we can select whichever texture we would like to apply to that attribute. But I want to show you another way that we can do this, and we can do it in the Hypershade. So let's go into our Hypershade. Okay, here we go. We don't have any other materials here, so let's go under Maya and select Surface. And let's grab a Fong. And let's select our sphere again, hit the attribute editor, and we are still on our Lambert because we didn't apply the Fong. Just because we clicked on it, put it in our work area, but it's not necessarily applied to our object. So we can select our object and then right-click on Fong and say Assign Material to Selection. Now, this sphere has the Fong material applied to it. Let's go to our attribute editor, and we see we now have our Fong 1 applied to our sphere. So that's good. Okay, so we have a Fong, and say if we want to go and put a texture into our color port. So let's go to our 2D textures, and let's apply a checker to our color port. So let's click on checker, and now we see we have our checker node and our Place 2D texture node as well. I'm going to double click on my Fong so I can see all of my attributes. And now with the middle mouse button, you can middle mouse click on checker, and we get this little plus sign on our cursor. And we can, with that selected as a middle mouse click, we can drag it to whichever attribute we want to apply the checker to. So we can bring it to color and then let go. And now our checker is applied to our color. See, checker 1 out color going to Fong 1 color. And we're not seeing anything on our viewport because we have to come up and change our hardware texturing. So let's do this again, but let's do it with a transparency this time. Let's grab a fractal. As soon as you click on it, it automatically makes the fractal and the 2D placement node. Select our Fong, middle mouse click on the fractal and drag it to transparency. Now let's switch over to viewport 2 so we can see the transparencies. So this is a very easy way of being able to make connections without having to use these Create Texture buttons over there. This is how you're able to connect different textures through the Hypershade.